What's up, Vikings Nation? Can you feel it? The offseason is heating up in Minneapolis, and while everyone's watching free agency, there's something even more intriguing brewing behind the scenes. Today, we're diving into potential early extension candidates for our Minnesota Vikings in 2026. And trust me, some of these names might surprise you. Every year, the Vikings find a way to lock up at least one key piece earlier than expected. Just look at how the front office handled Andrew Van Ginkel's extra $23 million in 2025. That wasn't random, that was strategic. And if history tells us anything, it's that the Minnesota Vikings are already planning their next move. Free agency kicks off in just a few weeks, and between now and late May, we could see serious movement. Timing, roster need, cap flexibility, it's all colliding. So the question is, who's next in line for more years and more money in purple and gold? Let's start with Blake Cashman, and Vikings fans, I need you to think about this carefully. If he hadn't missed 4 games in 2025, his 11.07 tackles per game pace would have projected to 188 tackles over a full season. That would have been the 8th most in a single season in NFL history. 8th all-time. And yet somehow, Cashman's season flew under the radar. Maybe it was the injuries. Maybe it was the national spotlight being elsewhere. But those of us following Minnesota Vikings news closely know exactly how dominant he was when healthy. He's entering the final year of his deal, earning $7.5 million per season. For a linebacker producing at that level, that's value. And let's be honest, Cashman feels like an Eden Prairie guy who should retire a Viking. A 2-year extension in the $20 million range would make a lot of sense. Would you lock him up now or wait it out? Now let's talk about Jonathan Greenard. The Vikings signed him to a 4-year deal in 2024, which looked fantastic at the time and still does. But here's the twist. His guaranteed money has already dried up, and that creates leverage for restructuring or extending. There were some wild trade rumors floating around about Greenard being part of fantasy deals involving Joe Burrow. Let's be real, Vikings fans. Burrow isn't for sale, and edge rushers like Greenard don't grow on trees. You don't ship out premium pass rushers when you're trying to get back to the postseason. Yes, he was the target of some almost sack jokes in 2025 because of the pressures that didn't convert. But the advanced metrics, elite, pressures, disruption rate, run defense, top tier. With shoulder surgery behind him and still only 28, expect the Vikings to add somewhere between $23 to $25 million to stabilize that contract and spread cap impact forward. Now let's shift to Brian O'Neill, arguably the most consistent offensive lineman the Vikings have had over the last 7 seasons. Think about that. Through coaching changes, quarterback changes, scheme adjustments, O'Neill has been the rock. He's 31, yes, but elite tackles age differently. We've seen the league's best protectors play at a high level well into their 30s. Durability, leadership, technique, O'Neill checks those boxes. Minnesota will almost certainly revisit his contract. With free agency looming in 2027, it makes too much sense to restructure and potentially add around $20 million per year in guaranteed value. Protecting the quarterback is priority number 1. Do you trust anyone else more than O'Neill on that right edge? Now here's a name that might not generate headlines nationally, but Vikings fans paying attention know the impact. Jay Ward. When he got his opportunities in 2025, he absolutely flashed. Originally a 2023 rookie, Ward is entering the final year of his rookie contract. He hits hard. He brings versatility. He can align at corner, rotate at safety, and in Brian Flores' chaotic, disguise-heavy system, that flexibility is gold. Down the stretch of 2025, we saw Flores lean toward Ward over Theo Jackson in key moments. That tells you something. Coaches don't gamble in crunch time unless they trust the player. Ward's ability to play deep safety and survive in man coverage situations gives this defense a chess piece. He turns 26 this summer, prime age to explore a second contract. He's not going to reset the market, but a modest extension now could be a huge value play later. Would you secure him early or make him prove it one more season? What I love about this list is the balance. A linebacker playing at near-historic pace. A premier pass rusher entering his prime. A franchise right tackle. And a versatile defensive back ascending at the perfect time. This is how you sustain a contender. The Minnesota Vikings aren't just thinking about 2026. They're thinking about 2027, 2028, and beyond. Extension timing is everything. Do it too late and you overpay, too early and you gamble. But when you hit it right, you build continuity. And let's not forget the salary cap chess match happening behind the curtain. Restructures, bonus conversions, void years. Rob Brzezinski and the front office are masters at manipulating flexibility without sacrificing talent. That's why these moves feel inevitable. So Vikings Nation, I want your take. Which extension should happen first? Cashman? Greenard? O'Neal? Ward? Or is there another name flying under the radar in Minnesota Vikings news that deserves attention? Drop your opinions in the comments because this offseason is about to get wild. The Vikings are positioning themselves for another playoff push, and locking in core pieces is step one. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more Minnesota Vikings updates, analysis, and inside angles you won't get anywhere else, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with every diehard Vikings fan you know. Let's keep building this community and stay locked in together. Skol!